Hi there, this is Grooving in G and welcome back to my Audio Finder tutorial series. Today we're going to be talking about optimizing your workflow in Audio Finder. I'm going to show you right from the start, from kind of getting your files in, extracting some drum breaks, all the way to kind of sorting them in Audio Finder. So kind of a start to finish of the quickest ways that can help you speed up organizing your files. So I'm going to show you quickly another program I use quite a lot here, which is Twisted Wave. It's just an audio editor, but it has some recording functions and some other quite handy features. So I often use this along with Audio Finder, and I'm going to start doing some tutorials on this program as well, because I think it pairs up amazingly well with Audio Finder and it's really simple to use. What I've got here is just some drum breaks that I have found on YouTube, and then I've recorded them into this program. So first of all, I'm going to export them, and I've got this sampling folder on my desktop. This is where I save all my files, so I'm just going to save this one there and then save this as drum break tutorial 2. Firstly, I have this thing I call Music Recent, and what it is it's a smart folder. What I've done is create up a folder that shows me all the audio files that I've created this week. So any new files that I save on my Mac will get put into this folder, and it's really handy if you're saving files or exporting stuff from your projects. You can jump straight into this folder to get them. So how you set this up is you go File, New Smart Folder, and then you set the criteria using this section here. So I'm going created within the last week, created this week, that's what I want. And now it's showing me all my files, and then I want to specify that it is music. All music. So now you've got all the music created in the last week comes into this folder, and then you've got to save it, and I'm going to call this my music recent tutorial, and then save that. And now you can see it's appeared in my favorites kind of window. You can move it around by just dragging it. If you want to drag it into this toolbar at the bottom, you just drag it straight in and it'll show up. You see it's got this little line that kind of separates your apps from your folders. You can drag in here, and then you have this smart folder now in your toolbar. I think it's called your toolbar. Anyway, so you can click on this and you can actually change it, the view. I think I usually have it as a list, and then I have created as, so you want the most recently created files at the top, and then you want to view them as a list, which means you can view this whole selection. It will be at the top. So if you've got a home button on your numpad, you can just press home to come right to the top of this list, or you're going to have to scroll up and down it, which is not quite as convenient, but not so bad because it's only your files from this week. Now I can see these tutorial break files, but I want to go to their location, so I press Command and then click the files, and this opened this finder in my other window, and this is showing me. So that hotkey is when you hold Command and you click a file, it opens the location of where that file is. So it's opened this folder where I save those drum breaks, and then now in this folder I have this alias file. Whereas if I command and click this, it'll open the folder where this is located. And I have this alias file where I kind of date these samples that I bring in to my Mac. Cool. And so now I can drag these files into here. And once you kind of get this workflow down, it's really quick. It looks like quite a lot of steps, but it will save you so much time because you can just do the same thing over and over again, and you can have different alias files, and you can actually just drag them straight in if you want. If you create like the final destination. I kind of have it one step back. One thing I want to make clear is the reason I do all of this before I go to Audio Finder is so that so these files are now in their kind of final place where I'm just going to leave them. Because if I start moving these files around after I've dragged them into Audio Finder, then they're going to lose their location. So if I show you, if I just get rid of all this stuff, now these files are in, but if I change the name of this file as if I move them, they've now lost their link to Audio Finder. So you want to do all your work in your Mac side. You kind of want to put your files where they want to stay, and then you bring them into Audio Finder. So I'm bringing them in now to my favorites bin, which is what you use in Audio Finder. It's just like a temporary list that you use to organize files. And then I'm going to select them. You could go through and add tags. Say this is a drum break, so I would go to my drum break tag. I could tag these up, and then I could come into edit and type all this information in. But because I do drum breaks all the time and I'm always importing them, I've actually saved a template called drum break with just a little bit of information showing me that I'm the one that's collected the drum break and just sorting the tag. And then if I save, then it's kind of put everything in, and you could have this as extensive as you want. I have shown how to use these templates in another one of my videos, how to set them up. But it's very basic. You just fill in as much data as you want, and then you save the templates down here, and they'll come in this list that you can click on them. So I've got the files from my Finder into Audio Finder, and I've tagged them. And now I want to drag them into my sidebar list. Now I have this sidebar list where I keep all my drum breaks. So first I'm dragging into all drum breaks, and then I'll listen to them. And this one I think might be quite cool for a hip hop song. So I drag this into my hip hop drum break selection, which I've got loads in now, and then it's in here, and then I will add this final tag in genre for hip hop. Now this is quite like a mad amount of work to be doing to organize your files, but it means whenever you want to make something, or you're searching for particular breaks or samples, it's just right at your fingertips all the time, and it makes your workflow so quick. It's a little bit of extra work you got to do in the back end, but I think it really pays off when you're producing, and you never get stuck spending hours looking for samples because everything's right here in Audio Finder. So that's how I kind of go from importing files into my Finder all the way through to sorting them and having them tagged, as well as being in my sidebar list. One of the reasons I do this is because I can now search my database. Do I want to save the changes? Yes, save. I can search this for, say, drum break, and it recognizes this tag, but I can also kind of search my username. I can see kind of all the drums that I've done myself and extracted, so all the ones that are kind of personal to me. It's useful to add these little bits of information either in the notes column or in the genres column in the metadata, because it allows you to be more specific when you're searching your files. Another thing I quite want to show in this search bar is why I think using emojis is quite useful in Audio Finder, because I use these star drum breaks to specify ones that I really like. What's cool about this is I can actually search that star in my database. It's going to show me now all my favorite items that I've given this star to. But if I order this list like this, I will now be able to see all of the drum breaks that I've given the star to. This is just one example, but you can see if you use emojis, it's kind of like a single character which can identify particular samples that you really like. Yeah, and I think that's kind of it for today. I've got maybe one or two more Audio Finder tutorials left, I think, and then I'm pretty much done. So if anyone is still wanting to see any specific things, let me know, and thanks for listening.